The grand hall of the alien empire was silent. The walls were tall and shining, made of crystal and metal older than humanity itself. Strange symbols glowed softly in the air. Powerful alien leaders sat on floating thrones, watching one small figure standing alone in the center of the hall. That figure was human. He wore a simple uniform, no weapons, no armor. His hands were empty, and his face was calm. He did not bow too low, and he did not look proud. He simply stood there, waiting. The galaxy had waited for this moment for years. Humanity was standing before the strongest alien empire ever known. Many alien leaders believed this meeting would be short. Humans were known for being quiet, careful, and unwilling to ask for help. Some aliens thought humans were weak. Others thought they were afraid. At the highest throne sat the alien princess. She was not wearing a crown, yet everyone knew she ruled. Her eyes were sharp and ancient. She had seen stars born and worlds die. She looked at the human for a long time without speaking. The silence grew heavy. Finally, one of the alien elders spoke in a cold voice. "Human envoy," the elder said, "why does your species stand before us today?" All eyes turned to the human. He took a slow breath. "Humanity comes in peace," he said. "We seek understanding, nothing more." A soft sound of laughter spread through the hall. "Understanding?" Another alien leader said. "Your worlds are weak. Your fleets are small. Why should we listen?" The human did not argue. He did not raise his voice. He simply replied, "Because we believe cooperation is better than conflict." More laughter followed. The princess watched closely. She noticed something strange. The human was not nervous. His heart rate was steady. His eyes did not move from side to side. He looked like someone who had already accepted every possible outcome. That made her uneasy. The elder spoke again. "If you seek help, you must ask clearly. The galaxy is not kind to those who hesitate." The human remained silent. Seconds passed. Minutes passed. The alien leaders grew annoyed. "Speak," the elder demanded. "What do humans want from us?" The human finally answered, slowly and carefully. "We did not come to ask," he said. The hall erupted in whispers. "Not ask? Then why was the human here?" The princess leaned forward slightly. The elder's voice grew sharp. "Then this meeting is meaningless." Guards shifted closer to the human. The tension thickened like a storm about to break. Then the alien princess stood. The room fell silent instantly. She walked down from her throne, her footsteps echoing across the floor. She stopped only a step away from the human. He did not move. He did not look away. She studied him closely, and then she did something no one expected. She leaned closer. So close that only the human could hear her. And she whispered, softly, "You never asked." The human's eyes widened just a little. The words hit him harder than any threat. The princess straightened and looked at the council. "Leave us," she said calmly. The elders froze. "Your Highness," one protested. "This is against." "Leave," she repeated. The guards hesitated, then slowly stepped back. One by one, the alien leaders exited the hall until only two beings remained. An alien princess and a human. The silence returned. But now it felt different. Dangerous. The human finally spoke. "What do you mean?" The princess turned her back and walked toward the large window showing the stars. "For generations," she said, "species come here to beg. They ask for protection. They ask for power. They ask for mercy." She turned back to him. "Humans never did." The human said nothing. "You stood before us many times," she continued. "You listened. You observed. You accepted every rejection." She stepped closer again. "And still, you never asked." The human swallowed. "Because," he said quietly, "we were not ready to hear the answer." The princess stared at him. "For the first time in centuries," she smiled. "Then tell me, human," she said, "are you ready now?" The stars outside flickered, and somewhere in the galaxy, everything began to change. The silence between them felt heavy. The alien princess stood near the wide window, looking at the stars outside. Each star marked a world that had once asked her empire for help. Many begged, many demanded. Some even threatened. The human stood quietly behind her. He did not interrupt. This made the princess speak more. "Do you know how many species come to this hall?" she asked. "Thousands. All of them believe they deserve something." She turned her head slightly. "Protection, weapons, power." The human nodded once. "That is how survival works for many," he said, "but not for humans." The princess replied. She walked slowly around him, studying him like a puzzle she could not solve. "When your species first reached the stars," she said, "the galaxy noticed your technology was slow. Your ships were fragile. Many believed you would not last. The human said nothing. Other species in your position begged us," she continued. "They cried. They promised loyalty. Some even offered their worlds." She stopped in front of him. "You offered nothing." The human met her eyes. "Because nothing we had was truly ours to give," he said. That answer stayed in her mind. She remembered the first human delegation. They had asked questions, not favors. They listened more than they spoke. When refused, they thanked the council and left. That was not normal. "Your silence confused the galaxy," the princess said. Some believed it was fear. The human shook his head slowly. "Silence can mean patience." "Or weakness," she replied. "Or respect." He answered. The princess paused. She had not expected that. She turned away again, her voice quieter now. "For years, my advisors watched your species. Humans did not expand fast. You did not conquer. You avoided conflict even when attacked." "Yes," the human said. "Because war is easy. Control is easy. Restraint is hard." The princess closed her eyes. That word restraint echoed inside her thoughts. She remembered reports. Humans helping smaller species rebuild worlds. Humans sending aid without asking for thanks. Humans leaving once the work was done. "No banners," she said. "No claims." "We do not help to be praised," the human replied. "We help because we can." She turned sharply. "Then why come here now?" The question carried weight. The human took a moment before answering. "Because the galaxy is changing," he said. "And silence is no longer enough." The princess studied him carefully. "So you finally decided to ask?" "No," he said softly. "We decided to speak." She laughed quietly, not in mockery, but in surprise. "You humans," she said. "Always careful with words." She moved back toward her throne but did not sit. "Many on the council believe you are hiding something," she said. "They think your calm is a mask." "Maybe it is," the human replied. "Or maybe it is trust." "Trust in what?" she asked. "In ourselves," he said. "And in the idea that respect lasts longer than fear." The princess felt something shift inside her. For centuries, power ruled the galaxy. Loud voices decided fate. Quiet ones were ignored. Yet here stood a species that chose quiet on purpose. "You know," she said slowly, "there were moments when I wanted to help your people." The human looked up. "But you didn't," he said. "No," she admitted, "because you never asked." A pause. "Would you have helped if we had?" he asked. The princess did not answer right away. Instead, she said, "My empire does not reward weakness." "And we did not want charity," the human replied. Their eyes met again. The stars outside shifted as ships passed by in the distance. "You confuse my council," the princess said. "And you challenge old rules without breaking them." "That was never our goal," the human replied. "But we will not pretend to be small." The princess took a deep breath. "For the first time," she said, "I wonder if the galaxy misunderstood humans, or feared what you might become." The human said quietly, Fear often hides behind pride. She smiled slightly. You speak like someone who has already decided the future, she said. No, he answered. Like someone ready to accept it. The princess turned back to the window, behind her calm face. A dangerous thought formed. What if humanity's silence was not waiting for permission, but waiting for the right moment? She spoke without turning around. The council will demand answers, she said. And once they ask their questions, there will be no turning back. The human nodded. We understand. She finally faced him again. Then prepare yourself, she said. Because soon, the galaxy will ask why humans stayed silent for so long, and this time, the silence would answer back. The human stood still, but his mind was active. He had trained for moments like this. Not for battle, not for shouting, but for silence. Humans had learned long ago that words, when used too quickly, could close doors forever. The alien princess watched him closely. Tell me something, she said. Why do humans stay calm when others would beg? The human took a slow breath. Because panic clouds judgment, he said. And begging gives power away. She raised an eyebrow. You speak as if power already belongs to you. It belongs to no one, he replied. That is why we are careful with it. The princess walked in a slow circle around him. Your species lost many early colonies, she said. You were attacked, betrayed, yet you did not ask us for protection, the human nodded. Because borrowed strength is never truly safe. That sounds lonely, she said. It is, he admitted. But it teaches responsibility. She stopped in front of him. Many believe humans hide behind morals, she said. That you talk about peace because you cannot win wars. The human looked up calmly. Peace is not the absence of strength, he said. It is control over it. The words settled into the air. The princess remembered reports she had ignored before. Humans ending wars quickly, then leaving. Humans refusing to rule worlds they could easily control. Your silence, she said slowly. It made the council nervous. We know, the human replied. Fear grows when understanding is missing. She tilted her head. Then why not explain sooner? Because no one was listening, he said. They were waiting for us to beg. The truth of that hit her harder than she expected. For centuries, the galaxy had been loud. Threats, demands, pride. Humans were different. Too different. You watched us, the human continued. Measured us. Yes, she said honestly. And when we passed your tests? He asked. You walked away, she replied. Because passing tests is not enough, he said. Character is proven over time. The princess felt something tighten in her chest. You are saying humanity waited, she said. Not because it was weak, but because it was choosing. Yes, he replied. She turned away troubled. All this time, she said quietly. The council believed humans feared rejection. The human shook his head. We feared dependence. That answer changed something. She remembered species that begged her empire for help, then became shadows of themselves. Strong at first, empty later. Humans prefer to stand alone, she said. Until standing alone harms others, he replied. Then we stepped forward. Without asking, she said. Without asking, he agreed. The princess studied him again. No pride. No anger, only quiet certainty. You know, she said, if you asked today, the council would argue for days. That is expected, the human replied. And if they refuse? She asked. Then we will continue as we always have, he said. Carefully, she laughed softly. You truly believe you do not need us. We believe we do not need permission, he corrected. The stars outside shimmered as fleets moved silently. You are dangerous, the princess said. The human did not deny it. Dangerous, she continued, not because of weapons, but because of restraint. He bowed his head slightly. Restraint keeps the future open. The princess walked back toward her throne, but she did not sit. For the first time, she said, "I wonder if the galaxy judged you incorrectly." "We are used to that," the human replied. She stopped and looked back at him. "What if the council decides humans are a threat?" She asked. The human answered without hesitation, "Then we will protect ourselves." "And if that protection changes the galaxy?" she asked. He met her gaze. "Then the galaxy should have listened sooner." Silence filled the hall again. But this time, it was not empty. It was full of meaning. The princess realized something unsettling. Humanity had never been waiting for help. Humanity had been waiting for understanding. And now that it was speaking, the galaxy might not be ready for the answer. The alien princess stood alone for a moment. The human waited without speaking. This was not a test of words. It was a test of truth. "You deserve to know something," the princess finally said. "Something the council does not." She moved toward a hidden panel in the wall. With a slow motion of her hand, the air shimmered. A hologram appeared, filling the space between them. Stars, worlds, lines of light. The human looked closely. "These are observation records," she said. "Centuries old." She touched the light, and images changed. Human ships appeared small, damaged but moving with purpose. Human crews helping wounded aliens. Human engineers rebuilding stations, then leaving. "No demands," she said. "No claims." The human's face remained calm, but his eyes sharpened. "I have watched your species longer than you think," the princess continued. "Before the council noticed you. Before the galaxy decided what you were." She changed the image again. Human colony burning, aliens attacking. Humans evacuating civilians first. "You lost much," she said quietly. "We accepted the cost," the human replied. She nodded slowly. "That is when I began testing humanity," she said. The human did not look surprised. "We suspected. I denied you access to trade routes," she said. "Restricted technology. Blocked support." The human said nothing. "I wanted to see what you would do," she continued. "If you would beg or break." The hologram shifted. Human fleets adapting. Human world surviving. Humans growing stronger in silence. "You did neither," she said softly. The room felt smaller. "You endured," she said. Quietly, carefully, the human finally spoke. "We had no choice." "You always had a choice," she replied. "You chose dignity." That word hung in the air. "For centuries," the princess said, "power ruled the galaxy. The loud survived, the demanding ruled." She turned off the hologram. "But humans changed that equation," she said, without trying. The human frowned slightly. "Then why reveal this now?" She met his eyes. "Because the council is about to make a mistake," she said. "A warning. They fear you," she continued. "They think your silence hides ambition, and you?" The human asked. "I fear something else," she replied. "I fear what happens if they push you." The human remained quiet. She walked closer. "You never asked for protection," she said. "You never asked for power." "No," he said. "You waited," she said. "Not for permission, but for proof." The human nodded once. The princess took a slow breath. "I have a confession," she said. The words surprised him. "I admired humanity," she admitted. "From the beginning." The human looked up. "You protected weaker species without claiming control," she said. "You ended conflicts without ruling afterward." She turned away, her voice lower. "I wanted the galaxy to learn from you." "Then why didn't you help us?" the human asked. She closed her eyes. "Because if I helped you," she said, "the council would have said humans were my creation, my weapon." She faced him again. "And you would have lost what makes you dangerous." The human understood independence. You let us struggle, he said quietly. Yes, she replied. So you could stand on your own. The silence that followed was heavy but honest. The council meets again soon, she said. They will demand clarity, loyalty, control. And if we refuse? The human asked. They will see it as defiance, she replied. The human nodded. Then nothing changes. She studied him. You truly are ready, she said. For what? He asked. For the galaxy to hear you, she said. She stepped back and raised her hand. Another image appeared. A galactic vote schedule. A decision point. When this vote happens, she said, humanity will no longer be ignored. The human looked at the stars beyond the window. Change always has a cost, he said. She agreed. And this time, the cost will be paid by those who stayed silent too long. She turned to him one last time. You never asked, she said again. And that, she continued, is why the galaxy is about to listen. The lights dimmed. Far away, alien councils prepared their arguments, and humanity stood at the edge of a future it never demanded, but fully deserved. The Galactic Council chamber was louder than usual. Voices echoed across the massive circular hall. Holographic seats filled with leaders from dozens of species. Some were angry. Some were afraid. Almost all of them were confused. At the center of the chamber, the symbol of humanity glowed softly. That alone made many uneasy. They stayed silent for too long, one leader said. No species waits like that, without a reason. They are hiding strength, another argued. No one survives this long by chance. The alien princess stood apart from the others, listening. She had expected this reaction. Humanity had become the topic everyone avoided. Until now, the humans refused to ask for alliance, an elder said sharply. That is not trust. That is arrogance. The princess raised her hand. The chamber slowly quieted. Or, she said calmly, it is restraint. Many turned toward her in shock. You defend them? One leader demanded. I explain them, she replied. The discussion continued, growing harsher. They expand slowly, one voice said. Too slowly. They help weaker species, said another. Without claiming control. Why? Because they plan something. An elder snapped. Fear filled the room. The princess looked at the image of Earth on the display. Small, blue, fragile, yet standing. Meanwhile, far away, the human envoy waited. He sat in a quiet chamber, hands resting on his knees. No guards watched him closely. No chains held him. He had been allowed to wait. That alone meant something had changed. He knew the council was deciding humanity's future, and he accepted that. Back in the council chamber, the voices reached a peak. We should demand submission, one leader said. Force them to choose, or limit their movement, another suggested, before they grow bolder. The princess felt anger rise inside her. You speak as if humans have threatened you, she said. They threaten us by not needing us. Someone replied. The truth of that shocked the room into silence. Independence is not a crime, the princess said. No, an elder replied. But it is dangerous. She stepped forward. For centuries, she said, we ruled because others asked. Humans did not. She paused. That should make us reflect, not panic. A vote was announced. Not yet final but close. Some leaders argued for restriction. Others for observation. Very few argued for trust. The princess looked at the voting symbols. Humanity stood at the edge of being labeled a threat. She made her decision. Bring the human envoy, she ordered. The chamber went silent again, moments later. The human entered. He walked calmly to the center of the room. He did not bow deeply. He did not challenge them. He waited. You are aware, an elder said, that this council debates your future. Yes, the human replied simply. Why did you never ask for alliance? Another demanded. The human looked around the chamber. Because alliance given out of fear does not last, he said. Murmurs spread. And now? The elder asked. Do you ask? The human took a breath. No, he said. Gasps filled the chamber. We stand as we always have, the human continued. Open to cooperation, close to control. The princess watched closely. Some leaders were furious. You test our patience, one shouted. The human met their gaze calmly. We tested our own first. Silence followed. The princess stepped. Beside him, humans never demanded power, she said. They earned respect. She turned to the council. And now the galaxy must choose, she continued. Do we fear a species because it does not kneel, or do we learn from it? The vote began. Symbols flashed. The human did not look at them. He looked at the stars above. Minutes passed. Finally, the result appeared. Humanity would not be restricted. Not yet. A narrow margin. The chamber erupted again, this time with mixed emotions. The princess turned to the human. This is only the beginning, she said quietly. He nodded. It always is. As he left the chamber, whispers followed him, some fearful, some curious, some respectful, and far across the galaxy, other species watched closely, because humanity had just proven something dangerous, that it did not need permission to exist, and that frightened those who ruled by control. The galaxy did not change in one day, but after the council vote, something quiet began to move. News spread across trade routes and star systems. Humans were not restricted. Humans were not controlled. For the first time, a major empire had chosen not to fear them. Many species did not understand why. On a small border world, a distress signal was sent. Pirates attacked a research station. The local defense failed quickly. No empire responded. Then, human ships arrived. They did not announce themselves. They did not claim authority. They simply acted. The pirates were disabled, not destroyed. The station was secured. Medical aid was given to everyone, including the attackers, and then the humans. Left. No demands. No flags. Reports like this spread fast. On another world, a dying star threatened nearby systems. Human scientists worked with alien engineers. They shared data freely. When the crisis ended, humans stepped back and let others take credit. The galaxy noticed. Back at the alien capital, the princess watched these reports in silence. Her advisors spoke nervously. Humans gain influence without ruling. One said, they change minds without speeches. Another added. The princess nodded. That is why they are respected. She replied. The human envoy returned to the capital weeks later. Not as a suspect, but as a partner. This time, guards saluted him. He noticed. He said nothing. In the council hall, fewer voices shouted. More listened. We underestimated them, one leader admitted. They never asked, another said slowly. They showed. The princess watched the human closely. Your actions speak louder than any demand, she said to him privately. We prefer it that way, he replied. A new proposal reached the council. A coalition of smaller species requested human mediation at a long conflict, not because humans were the strongest, but because they were fair. The vote passed easily. The human accepted the role with one condition. We do not rule, he said, we only guide. The council agreed. Across the galaxy, something changed in how humans were spoken about. Not weak, not silent. Reliable. Steady. Dangerous, only when pushed. On a distant world, a young alien watched human engineers rebuild a broken city. He asked one of them, why do you help us? The human smiled. Because someone once helped us. Back at the palace, the princess stood on her balcony, watching the stars. You have altered the balance, she said when the human joined her. We did not plan to, he replied. That makes it worse, she said with a small smile. She turned serious. The council no longer questions your strength, she said. They question their own methods. The human nodded. Fear ruled too long, he said. It is time for responsibility. She looked at him carefully. You realize this path makes enemies, she said. We know, he replied. We also know it makes allies. She studied him. You still have not asked for anything, she said. No, he answered. We are listening. That silence now felt powerful. A message arrived during their conversation. Another empire requested human assistance. Then another. The human read them calmly. The princess laughed softly. The galaxy is learning, she said. Yes, he replied. Slowly. She looked at the stars again. Once, she said, power meant command. And now? He asked. Now it means restraint, she replied. They stood together in silence, not as ruler and subject, but as equals. Far across the galaxy, a quiet truth settled into many minds. Humans did not need to ask to be heard. They simply needed time. And now that time had come. The galaxy slowly learned a new lesson. Power did not always arrive with noise. Years passed after the council's decision. Borders shifted, not by force, but by trust. Where once fleets gathered to threaten, now messages were sent to talk. And in many of those messages, one name appeared again and again. Humanity. The human envoy had returned to his home world. But his work never truly ended. He spoke to leaders, guided negotiations, and then stepped back. Humans did not stay in the center for long. They never needed to. On a distant world, two rival species signed their first peace agreement. A human team helped them speak without anger. When the treaty was signed, the humans left quietly. No celebration, no reward. The alien princess watched these events from afar. Her empire was still strong, but it was no longer feared as it once was. And strangely, that made it more respected. She stood again in the great hall where everything had begun. The memory returned clearly. A human standing alone. Silent. Calm. You never asked. She understood now why those words mattered. The council gathered one last time to reflect on the changes. Humans reshaped the galaxy, one elder said, without conquering a single world. They showed us restraint, another added, and responsibility. The princess spoke last. They reminded us that true strength does not need permission. Far away, on Earth, the human envoy looked up at the night sky. Human cities were brighter now. Not because of wealth, but because of connection. Humans traded freely, learned from others, and still kept their independence. A young human once asked him, "Why didn't we ask for help earlier?" He answered simply, "Because we needed to know who we were first." That answer spread among the stars. One final meeting was requested. The alien princess invited the human envoy back to the palace. This time, there was no tension, only respect. They stood together at the same window, looking at the same stars. "The galaxy speaks your name with trust now," she said. "We never asked for that," he replied. She smiled. "I know," she said. "That is why it matters." She turned serious. "You taught us something dangerous," she said. "That silence can be choice, that patience can be power." He nodded. Double quotes, "We learned it the hard way," he said. She looked at him carefully. "If you had asked us in the beginning," she said, "everything would have been easier." "Yes," he agreed, "but it would not have been right." She thought about that. Then she whispered, almost to herself, "You never asked. And yet," she added, "you changed everything." The human looked at the stars one last time. "We did not come to be saved," he said. "We came to stand." The princess placed her hand over her heart, a sign of respect rarely shown. "The galaxy stands with you now," she said. He did not smile widely. He simply nodded. As their meeting ended, ships moved quietly through space. Not fleets of war, but paths of cooperation. The narrator's voice would later say, "In a galaxy full of demands, humanity chose dignity. In a universe ruled by noise, humanity answered with silence. And when the galaxy finally asked why, the answer was simple: humanity never asked because it never needed to."